Hey, what's up, everyone? First of all, I'd like to just start out thanking everyone for the encouraging words and for subscribing to my videos. I definitely hope these be a blessing to you. Today, what I'm gonna do is just a little trick you can add a little spice to your progression. We're gonna kind of go a little bit over the tritone substitution, and I know a lot of you might be familiar with the term tritone, which we use a lot in gospel, but we're going to kind of play with the tritone substitution, which is what a lot of jazz theory and a lot of jazz cats call a tritone substitution. And it's an awesome, neat little trick that you can use, and you probably already use it. You just never really knew the name of it. But I've been the key of C sharp or D flat, and I'm just gonna do a simple progression that I like to do after my worship leader get through with a song, and then I just show you a little way you can kind of flip it or add a little spice to it by using the tritone sub. First, the progression is 2, 3, 4, 3, 6, and it's simple, and I like to use it after they get through with a song. That's pretty much it. And I just repeat that progression over and over. I give you the notes to that just in case you might want to, use it in your service. For the two chord, my left hand is E flat, B flat, E flat. My right hand is F, F sharp, B flat, C sharp, D flat, or however you want to call it. And then my next note is the 3, which is F in the left hand. My right hand is E flat, A flat, D flat. And in jazz, they call it, if I'm not mistaken, like a stack fourth or stack and fourth. And I know, I think traditional theory call it quarter chord. But that's that note. My next note is the 4th, which is G flat with my left hand, D flat with my right hand. I'm sorry, D flat, G flat with my left hand, and D flat with my left hand. Right hand is G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat. And then back to the 3, which is F with my left hand. My right hand can do a little melody. The melody is A flat, B flat, and then the chord is E flat, A flat, B. And then I go to the 6, which is with my left hand B flat, F, A flat. Right hand is D, A flat, D flat. And I just repeat that over and over. But that's something that if you want to, use it after they get through with the song, you can, or however you want to use it. But to spice that up, what I do is I add a tritone substitution into that just to give it a little flavor. Simply, the concept of it is that what I will be substituting is the F, and as we know, that F and B are they tritones. So what I simply do is I count back from what I'm trying to substitute, which is the F. I go back a whole step, which will lead me to the E flat. And how you go back a whole step, you just skip one note and go to the next, which is E flat. And we all know that the E flat and A are tritone. So what I do is simply, now that I have that, what I'm gonna do is substitute the B, since I know F and B are a tritone, but I'm gonna substitute the B instead of going to the 3. I'm gonna just go to that B. And the reason why you can get away with it because F and B definitely also too share the same tritone in a dominant chord. Most of all your dominant chords are gonna have a tritone in there. So we have the F7 chord if we was in the key of F, and as you see that tritone in there, that A and C, because A is the 3rd in F, and that flat 7 is E flat in F, and then we can do a B7 And as you see, they both have that same tritone in there. E flat is the third in B, and the flat 7 is B is A. So they both share the same tritone, which is E flat and A, or A and E flat. So what I do is I simply just throw a tritone in there. Instead of going back to the 3, I just use that B to approach that B flat. And the trick of it is that you can do is whatever the chord, it's good too to know your chords. So whatever chord you're trying to approach, you can approach it by a half step above, which is the tritone, using that tritone with the same chord quality of the chord that you're trying to approach. Because this right here on that 6, it's a B flat 7 sharp 9. So what I want to do, I can approach that from half step above, which would be my B. So all I'm gonna do is use a B7 sharp 9 to approach that B flat 7 sharp 9, and that's how you get the sound. Let me show you. So that's a nice little trick that you can use. I simply just approach. I use a tritone sub, and I just kept the same quality of the chord, which is 7 chord with a sharp 9, but I just approached it a half step above, which would have made it a B7 sharp 9. And I'm trying to, get to the B flat 7 sharp 9. So that's one way you can use a tritone sub, because instead of the original progression was 2, 3, 4, back to the 3, to the 6, but this time I didn't want to go back to the 3. I just want to use that tritone sub. So I went 2, 3, 4, tritone sub, and then back to the 2. So that's a nice little trick that you can do. And 2, if you want to make it sound even more crazy, you can just really approach. Now you can approach the B7 sharp 9, and you can approach that a half step above, which will make it a C. So a half step above B is C. So simply take a C7 sharp 9 and just go and walk it on down chromatic. And that had nothing to do with the tritone. That just was showing you, how you can get a tritone substitution, but now you can get even a little more crazy with it and just walk a 7 sharp 9 chord, and just walk it on down to your destination chord, which is that 6. And it'll sound like this. So that's a nice trick you can do if you want to know what the C7 is. My left hand is C, G, B flat. My right hand is E, B flat, E flat. And then for that B7 sharp 9 is B with my left hand, F sharp, A with my left hand. Right hand is E flat, A, that tritone in there, and D. And you already got the B7 sharp 9 chord. You already got that chord. And then even with that C7, you see that tritone? That tritone's still in there. So even if you didn't want to hit all those chords, if you want to be a little lazy, you can just go. You can do that. Just take the tritones out the chord. So that's one way you can do it. I like to chord it because it makes it sound more full. But if you don't feel like chording it sometimes, just to give it a little bit different sound, you can just take the tritones, which is E, B flat, E flat, A, and resolve it to your destination chord. So that's one little trick that you can do And you can play with a lot of this stuff, especially just if you taking theory and things like that, and you know your theory. A lot of stuff is to kind of give you some form of structure, but theory can be broken and rules can be broken. So it's just a matter of what you want to hear and what sounds good to your ears. And I kind of look at theory as kind of like a guidance, and you know, to kind of get you started, and you know, let you know what you can do and things like that. But theory definitely, man, you can you can. It's good to learn it because I mean, the concept I like to use in order to break the rules, you got to first, you know the rules. And once you know the rules, you can break them, and that's why a lot of music start out. You know, they teach you the Western music, but even a lot of the great jazz players even started out with classical, and a lot of them started out with the classical or the Western theory, and then from there they just was able to experiment and try different things, and they began to break different rules. So it's good to have a to learn both of them, and especially on the site, man. You got guys like T Block and some more people that that just they just crazy in theory, and they know their theory. So it's definitely good to learn or whatnot. But learn the rules and then learn them, then you can break them. And I thought maybe I just had to share that with you. And another concept that you can use, because of course I want to end the progression, and we all know you can end the progression by doing a 2-5-1. So I just or whatever. So I just use a 2-5-1 to end the progression or to end the song or whatever. Now what you can do is if you can add tritone subs into that, so you don't have to do your normal 2-5-1. You can actually add a tritone to the 2-5-1, and you can do that by doing this. As you know, E flat is the two, and your five is A flat, which we know D and A flat is the tritones. So of course the concept we use again, just count back because I want to substitute the A flat. Just count back a whole step, which will give me F sharp and C. But I'm gonna use, of course, I'm gonna use that D because that's the tritone of the A flat. I'm gonna use that D, and as you already know, F sharp and C is definitely a D7. We all know that a D7. So of course, what I'm gonna do is just simply use a D7 chord to go to my to resolve to my one. So instead of me going to the five, I'm basically doing a two, the tritone sub, which is that D, to the D flat, and it'll sound like this. So that's another way you can do it. Instead of just doing your traditional 2-5-1, you can actually throw a tritone sub in there. And that note, I'm doing the same chord I did earlier, which is an E flat, B flat, E flat with my left hand, G flat, B flat, D flat, F with my right hand, and then my left hand with the tritone sub, I'm doing a D, A D, F sharp, C, and an F, and then I'm resolving to that D flat, which would be D flat, A flat, E flat, F, B flat, E flat. So that's one way you can do it. Or if you want to just get a little more crazy with it, you can simply as you know, you can almost think in 2-5, 2-5, and jazz definitely use a lot of 2-5 and stuff. If you study jazz theory things like that, they use a lot of 2-5-1s and 2-5. So what I'm gonna simply do is just all I'm gonna do is just take my I'm gonna approach it as a 2-5. I'm gonna do an A minor to that D7 to resolve to that D flat. So it'll sound like this. So that's all I just did was just add a two before that D, and that's really it. And that's a simple A minor, seven chords: A, E with your left hand, G, B, C, E with your right.